Hey guys, it's Jim here from One Stop. I'm with Craig from Nutriculture, and today he's going to be talking us through the Wilma Systems. So take it away, Craig.
No problem, let's do it. So I just want to introduce you to the Wilma system. This is the ideal entry point for anybody looking to get into hydroponics. So if you are currently growing and using hand watering, this is the perfect step up into a hydroponic growing system. What it does is it takes a lot of the work out of it for any grower. It feeds when the plant needs it to, and it feeds when you can't be there. So Wilma's available in a multiple of different sizes. This particular one we've got here is 60 by 60, so if you're looking for a smaller scale setup, or you're looking to run a Wilma alongside your existing hand watering crop to try it, this is the ideal size. So within the kit, you'll get the base, the lid, all of the components to feed the plants. So that includes your dripper lines, two different types of stake, and they'll be used depending on the media that you're going to have inside your pots. So the blue are particularly good for clay pebbles, the black are particularly good for soil. They're just going to let out differing amounts of water depending on the media. So with clay pebbles, they need a little bit more because clay pebbles are free draining, whereas soil's going to retain a bit more of the moisture, so the black stakes are going to just let out that little bit less. Within the kit, you'll get a guide on which particular stake you'll need for your particular media. So we'll just run through how you set it up, and it is nice and easy. So when we're connecting the pump, we're just going to move this nozzle round, and that's because the Wilma is a low level system, and when we come to connecting the delivery tube, it will make it that bit easier. So the filters go on, make sure you hear that click with the filter. We've got our foot plate connected to the suction cup. We slide that into place and we put that into the tank. And you want to make sure that that lines up with this part that's been cut out here. Bumps in the reservoir, put your delivery tube in place. Just angle it slightly, that will go in. And then the delivery tube just connects to the pump. And then we force the delivery tube down. And that's then in place. Just make sure your pump is lined up and everything's nice and straight in there. So now we've got the pump and the delivery tube all set up. We're going to get the dripper lines in place. Make sure that the delivery tube is nice and straight, and these will just pop over the top of these here. Just need a little bit of encouragement, but they are a tight fit to make sure that all of the water and nutrients from the reservoir get through to your plants. So now we've got our dripper lines in place, we're going to connect the stakes, and as I mentioned before, you'll choose the one to match your media. So we're going to make an assumption that we're going to use clay pebbles in a Wilma, and for that reason we've got these blue ones here, and they connect to the dripper lines. Just push them in place, and you want to make sure that the dripper line goes to the very top of the stake, so you're getting as close as possible. So the stakes are all in place, and the last thing you want to do is put your access cap in place, and then obviously your pots filled with your media and your plants. And that really is all there is to setting up your Wilma. In terms of using your Wilma system, it will depend on the media that you've got. But within the veg stage, you're looking at 3 15-minute feeds per day. Usually an 8-hour spacing in the middle, and when you come to flower, you want to increase that to between 4 and 5 feeds. Again, that's just a general idea of what you should be doing. Make sure that you're looking at your plants frequently and increase the number of feeds or decrease it based on how your plants are looking. So some general tips on using your Wilma. Before you get going, you're putting your water into your reservoir, you're putting your nutrients in. But before you start feeding, what we recommend is that you mix your nutrients. And with the Wilma system, what it allows you to do is mix the nutrients by the pump by turning this tap. And we put it in the closed position, the pump's going to mix up the nutrients for you ahead of the plants being fed. So let that go for about 10-15 minutes, let it get nice and mixed up, and then you're making sure that you're not just getting concentrated nutrients going to your plant, it's actually mixed in with the water as well. To feed, simply turn the tap back to the point where it's open again, and the plants are going to get fed by the dripper lines. Maintaining your system is easy. If you want to check your pH, you simply remove the access point, use a pH pen or a pH testing kit, get a little sample of water and just check whether it's in the right range. 5.8 to 6.2 is ideally where you'd like it to be. If it's a little bit above that, a little bit of pH down, or make it sure that it gets within the right range. One of the things you want to think about in terms of maintenance of your Wilma system is that over time you're going to get a build-up of salt. It can impair the performance of your pump, and it means that the nutrients aren't getting through to your plants. So using a product like a drip clean is going to make sure that everything's in full working order over the long term. That's something we highly recommend. It's something that is relatively inexpensive and you can get at One Stop Grow Shop.